Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Tano Tastes, where we dive into the world of Shochu and
and other Asian spirits.
And other Asian spirits.
Yeah.
So on tonight's episode, we are going to be talking about serving suggestions. This is a really interesting and fun topic to talk about because it dives into, when you're buying a bottle of shochu, how should it be drunk?
Yeah. Everybody has their own personal preference as well, but it's an interesting one because shochu can be drunk in many different ways, like most alcohols, but it's drunk slightly differently to other alcohols, and a lot of that's because of the ABV, right? Yeah.
So as a reminder, most shochus are about 25% ABV, and which is about half, or not quite half, of what you might buy as a bottle of vodka. It can still be enjoyed straight, and in many ways it can be enjoyed much easier straight than something like a gin can because of the lower ABV. There's less burn. You can enjoy the full flavor of the shochu. However, what's really interesting about shochu is even with that lower ABV, it's actually often, in Japan at least, designed to be diluted further, which may come as a surprise to some people out there who think about diluting a whiskey. The thought of diluting a whiskey too much, it just becomes nothing.
It ruins it.
It ruins it.
It ruins it.
Whereas if you start at a 25% ABV base and you dilute it with either ice or water, soda water even, you'd think you would lose all of that flavor, but actually
you don't.
You don't.
No.
Yeah.
It often enhances the flavor.
It does.
And that's because at 25%, shochu is such a full flavored drink as it is, right? So you can dilute it down and you'll still get a really good characteristic.
When I was first drinking shochu, I had I was like watching YouTube videos and reading up about how to enjoy shochu, and one of the first ways I discovered shochu was in a chuhai. So with what they call soda water, so with soda water. And I expected with a 25% ABV that you would just lose the flavor of the shochu, but actually the effervescence often adds flavor to it. So anyway, tonight what we're going to be doing is we're going to be running through 5 different ways of enjoying shochu.
Yep.
With this barley or mugi shochu from Kagura Distillery.
That we have done zero research on.
Very little. It's been sitting on my shelf for a while. It's a decent shochu, but it's also the only barley shochu that I've probably got enough left in it for us to do this test. That's why we're doing it tonight.
The reason we're doing a barley shochu as well is because barley it's very much, it can be classified as a entry level kind of a shochu.
I'd say, yeah.
Like one that people can really get into, but it's also one of those kind of, if you get the right one, and we don't know if this is the right one or not yet, it can be drunk in all the different styles, right?
Exactly.
Whereas, everybody has preferences in how they drink their alcohol. But there's certain shochus, as you've probably seen from when we've done a few of these things.
Yeah, our faces when we're like, that was not how I was expecting that to taste.
Yeah, like we've done some examples of mixing with hot water, we've done some ice, we've done some some of them work better with others. In general, I feel that a barley shochu, you can actually, it's quite versatile enough to drink.
It's a great middle of the road shochu in general. You can sort of describe it as emo or sweet potato shochu is on that heavier end, grungier sometimes, quite sweet and pungent. Rice shochu is more delicate, but more floral, lighter, and then you've got those two areas of the spectrum, and then barley often sits right in that middle.
Yeah.
Where it
earthy, but not too earthy.
Yeah, it can be sweet. Can be light. So it has kind of a lot of the best of both of those worlds, which means that it should, in theory, work in all different aspects.
Our method of choosing this was, I just said, let's just go for the horse.
The horse. Yeah. And like, you know what, we don't talk often enough about shochu bottle labels. I mean, most of them have like kanji on them, but this is a picture on it.
Beautiful bottle. Like, I'll show a photo of this on the overlay.
We'll check it in, yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna sit down and we're gonna try this, and we're gonna show you 5 different ways that you can actually drink shochu.
That's right. So we're gonna be right back. And we're back. Okay, and as you can see, we have magically reappeared with all of these vessels. So many vessels. And we've done, so just to recap, we are going to go through the 5 ways to enjoy shochu. I mean, there's more, obviously you can put them in a cocktail, which we might do an episode on later.
Ooh, yes.
But these are the 5 sort of traditional, and then 1 kind of newer way of doing it, which is also very popular in Japan. So we have from this side to this side, which is our left, but your right if you're looking at, oh no, it's still left.
These are mine.
Yeah. This is the cutoff here. So we've got straight up, on ice, cold water, soda water, hot water. So what we've done here is just a little couple of cubes of ice in this one, but 50-50 mixture on the cold water.
Yep.
And then the soda water and the hot water are about not quite a 3 to like
3 to 6, 3 to 7.
3 to 7. Don't confuse people. Confusing me. It's a little bit more than a 50-50. It's like maybe
Right.
not quite a 1 to 3, maybe a
3-4.
yeah. We basically used a jigger.
1, 2,
And
3,
then
4, 5, 6,
1
7.
shot, 2 shots. So it's actually about 2 to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is about 50-50. These are about 2 to 1.
Yeah. Take all this with a grain of salt, because there are different ratios that people like.
Yeah.
There's not too many that are actually like set in the ratios, right? There's just things that you might prefer.
It is down to personal preference, and also the shochu as well will express differently. I know from my experience of having a wee dram at home, I enjoy a little bit more water in my oyuwari, which is hot water, because I find the more hot water brings out more of that kind of the heat. The evaporation of the spirits gets more up into the senses in the nose, and it really.
And I'm
really
different.
nicely.
I actually prefer a bit more strength in my imo.
Yeah, right.
And a little more not so hot, I think.
Yeah. And I think that's all
Yep.
completely different. So we'll get into it. So we've got our standard one to try. So
Straight up.
Kanpai.
Kanpai. Oh, this smells really nice, actually. I haven't tried this barley one before, so.
No, I haven't tried it in a while, and I mean we're not going to do a whole thing on this particular brand, but I mean just off the top of your head, you're.
It's nice. It's a standard, like it's what I would call a standard mugi. Mm-hmm. It's not overly powerful. It's not too subdued. It has really good flavour.
Yeah, there's quite a lot going on there as well. There's a lot of oils in there as well. It's sweet, but not too sweet. It's just a nice balanced mugi.
It's a nice mugi. I think actually it's a good example for doing this.
Yeah, and I don't know where exactly it's from, but we'll maybe do that later.
Flavour wise, like a little oily. Like it's definitely got that like beautiful mugi grainish kind of subdued pearl barley. A little bit of caramelly, like
yeah. I mean, I think this is vacuum distilled, but a little bit of me is going, well, maybe not actually. It's not quite as floral and as light as some of the other barley shochus. Excuse me, I have. So it might be atmospheric, but it's hard to say.
Really, we're just comparing it though. So let's
okay.
Let's
so
try.
that's our base out of the way.
Let's
get
base.
into the.
I'm
ice.
saving a tiny bit of that.
Yes,
we have
I'll
a
have
bit
to go back.
in the bottle, just in case we want to go back and
Tiny
just
bit,
do a comparison.
Okay,
Okay, ice.
All right.
I love mugi on ice.
Mugi on ice is great.
Yeah.
It's a bit more like if you are a whiskey drinker, you will and you like whiskey on ice, you may appreciate this method of it. It's also really nice and refreshing on a summer's day.
Muted flavours.
And it does mute the flavors, but I think it makes it more. You can continue to drink it.
Sweeter.
Wow! Yeah.
That bumped out the sweetness of it. Like,
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah.
See now this might make it for me anyway a little bit maybe too sickly perhaps to have too many of but on a hot day, like let's say we're into spring here in Melbourne, but it does feel like winter still, hence the hoodies. But
no, this is great. Like, I had something similar. I went to a Japanese. I was walking down the road, stopped at a Japanese place. They had one shochu on their menu, and it was a hot day last summer, and I got it. And this is exactly that feeling of that. Like, it's a nice hot day.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Just enjoy it. All right.
Alrighty.
So now we move on to
Cold water?
the cold water. This is maybe not as cold as it does. It's just out of the tap out here, so it's not maybe as cold, but it'll be a good comparison to the ice. And
Now,
it is again this is 1-to-1, so
we should probably
50-50.
tell them about, is it Meiwari? Meiwari?
This is
So Meiwari is where they...
Mizuwari, which is mizu is water.
So Meiwari is the act of when they actually dilute it a few days before.
Oh,
I think that's
a good point
from the other video that we had.
Yep.
So I think what they actually do, I'm pretty sure. Like
this is
yeah.
the terminology might be wrong, but the process is
is what you actually do is and I'm pretty sure we talked about this in a previous video at some stage. You actually would blend it with the water a couple of days or a day or two beforehand. Again, alcohol goes into shock when you add water to it.
Yeah.
That's why when they're proofing stuff, they do it very slowly. The flavors can be all turbulent. So you actually mix the water with it a couple of days beforehand and it just settles down and does it. So we haven't really done this one properly.
This is just done like 5 minutes.
Straight up, yeah.
But you know, for most people who are sitting at home might want to enjoy shochu, this is how you do it.
Like, really, I just get this sweetness, barley sweetness from that.
It does taste a lot more washed out, this one.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
But this is, the little plastic bottles that we did the little one of. This is the same, probably around the same ABV. This is probably around about 10 to 12 ABV. And to be very honest with you, this is how those plastic bottles taste.
Yeah, they are quite. Yeah. There's definitely. I think maybe giving it a few days, it might taste a bit more.
A bit more rounded,
evened out. But maybe at the moment, it's a bit muted with that cold water in there.
I prefer with the ice, but
yeah,
you could. I mean, not knowing, you probably wouldn't even know. Honestly, I wouldn't know this 10-12%, right?
True.
This would be actually a freaking dangerous drink.
Yeah. Now, my favourite one, that we're going to get onto now, is the soda water, soda wari. So this, hopefully now with a bit of effervescence in here, it should actually, even though it's about the same amount of water, it's actually more water, we should still taste more of that shochu, hopefully.
See, I just want to add a piece of lemon or lime into it. I prefer that to the straight up Mizuwari.
It might be the lack of ice in this one, but I'm not getting the same flavours I might get in a, add a little bit more to it.
I'm just going to add a little bit more and see, not too much. You want a little bit more, or are you going to stick with that one?
I will stick with this one for now.
Right.
Yeah, I think this is, I've had a few of these in bars, and it's a little bit harder to replicate when we are doing, because we really just put less than one shot in this and then doubled it for the soda, which is usually a much more of a that's like about the right ratio if you were to scale up.
That's more to my liking, having a little bit more.
Having a little bit more in it?
Having a little more flavour. Like, you get the effervescence, you get that that kind of carbolic acid. You know what I mean, like that.
I would also normally have this with some ice as well, and sometimes ice actually, a little bit of cocktail lesson, what ice helps to do is also keep the CO2 in a drink. So for those of you out there who are like ordering a vodka soda without any ice, for whatever reason, that will actually make the drink taste flatter faster. If you have more ice on top, it keeps the CO2 in it, keeps the effervescence in it. I did not do this because I wanted to just try it on soda. I think I wish I had put some ice in it. It might have been harder to do in such a small vessel, but it may have kept some of that effervescence in there. Maybe the aroma
it's still there, like it's still soda water.
Oh, definitely, yeah. No, definitely it's there.
I like it.
No, this is one of my favorite ways
Yeah.
of enjoying it.
I still feel like I want to put a piece of lime or lemon into this.
Oh yeah, I think definitely in a highball.
Yeah.
In a highball, 100% put a bit of lime or lemon in it, or whatever you want, orange, grapefruit, whatever, just to give it a bit more.
Yeah, this would make great highball ice.
A bit more acidity.
Bit of lemon, lime. I would up the ratio of this one. It might just be the Mugi, the type of Mugi that it is.
It could be. Yeah. It could be that.
Mm.
But yeah, no, this is definitely my favorite.
good.
Yeah, we'll finish the last one and we'll talk about our favorites. Okay, and then the last one is Oyuwari, so with hot water. So a great winter warmer and another one of my favorite ways of enjoying it.
That smells really nice, actually.
Yeah, this maybe because we've been sitting, it's been nice to sit a little bit longer. It's cooled down a little bit, but I really enjoy this way of serving it.
Oyuwari?
Yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So this is about a 2-to-1 ratio. So 2 parts hot water to 1 part shochu. What do you think?
Again, with my Oyuwari, I like mine a little stronger. So I would probably, and I've got a little bit left. I would probably add a little bit more into mine. My ratio is a little higher than yours.
Yeah, right. And that's it. It's all part of them picking.
Oh yeah, see that there, I like that.
Yeah, right.
Even that little tiny bit of a bump, for me, yeah, it's nice for a bar. Like, I don't drink a lot of barley Oyuwari. Imo, yes. Yeah.
The Cacciatore shochu is so
on
good.
hot water, that was really freaking
It's
good.
so good.
But this helps convert me.
Yeah, it's all down to finding the right barley. And like I said, we didn't do any research prior. I've probably got a couple of other bottles that don't have as much in them that would have been better. And Imo is absolutely better. Even is better hot water. Anyway, so
Favorites.
I enjoyed the ice a lot more than I thought I would.
Ice, yes.
Yeah.
Yep, that was actually probably my favorite.
Ice was probably my favorite. Yeah. I think I really would enjoy the soda wari if I just had a bit more ice, and if I had extended it out into an actual highball. For a small take like this, it's probably a bit hard to get the right flavors out. But I think it expresses really well.
I would have gone with soda wari as well. Like I can see that in a nice highball, like ice, bit of lemon. I can see that. I can feel that.
Yeah, and like while we're talking about ratios, you may need to up the ratio a bit because obviously it's a lower ABV, but that's more to suit your tastes. Like I've had a double shot of a barley or a rice shochu in a normal highball glass with nothing but a little bit of lemon juice or lemon in it, and that's all it needed. It didn't need anything. It didn't need additional shochu. Didn't need anything else to bring it up. It was just that and some soda water and lots of ice. Can't emphasize enough, like a decent chunk of ice.
I think the beauty of this though is that this will change depending on what you have here.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised I didn't enjoy the straight up miso water as much.
I didn't enjoy the water, because
the water
maybe it wasn't the ratio high enough, or maybe it needed time to marry, needed time to
Yeah, like there's definitely a smell in the nose there, but it feels like it maybe needs a bit more.
The ice really did stand out. Like that's my standard way of drinking barley shochu, straight up on ice. This one just worked really well with that.
Yeah, and like as the ice is melting, the flavor changes, and you enjoy it every sip. Like it changes a bit, it expresses a bit differently, but it's still very enjoyable, and you can still definitely taste the shochu. Straight up as well, it still is. It's nice. It's a bit more oily. It's a little bit more in the back of the throat. Depends what you're up for.
I was a little, the Awamori, it's okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It may not be this one that would
okay.
be preferable for a Awamori, and that's also like while we're doing these videos, we're also kind of experimenting as we're
experimenting, looking around, seeing what different flavor profiles are. Hopefully, all of this stuff that we do, and a lot of tasting, which is such a horrible thing, feeds into everything that we're doing and the way that we want to actually make things as well, right? So, yeah, this has been really fun. Like I feel like we need to do this a couple more times.
Yeah.
With some other
different
types.
I think this is actually quite a good educational series for us and for you at home, like for you watching along. If you are interested in shochu, or if you, if you're just not sure how it should be drunk, because it can be a bit of a, I don't know, like
it's sometimes hard for traditional drinkers to wrap their head around. It's not like drinking scotch. It's not like drinking rums. It's just a different approach to your alcohol.
And what I hear, what I hear a bit as well on online is one of the main places that you want to try and get this out to is to bars. And the trouble with sometimes with bars is they'll see a 25% ABV spirit and they'll be like, what do I do with that? How do I transfer that into a cocktail? How do I make someone want to buy it?
I'm looking forward to doing a cocktail episode.
And I think that might be the next step. That's the gateway into shochu, is if somebody in a bar can sell it to you, and as a bit of a spruik to the winter is now over, and unfortunately R.I.P. Hotham. Or R.I.P. the Australian winter season, but Mount Hotham has a really
R.I.P. your ski week.
My ski week has a really good bar up there called Miss Mary's, and they actually serve chu-hais behind the bar, and then they're not chu-hais as in like just watered down crappy shochu. It's actually proper shochu. Some of it's from Japan, some of it's made down in Bright at the Regent Co Distillery, and I've been getting all of my, whenever I'm up there, I'm always like, chu-hais please, because they are a little bit cheaper because they're lower ABV, and they're really refreshing and they're really tasty, and everybody I give a chu-hai to, and it's just shochu, soda, and some yuzu, and everyone goes, wow, this tastes like so good, and I think it's a great gateway into people. Like a simple cocktail, I wouldn't even necessarily call it a cocktail.
Let's do a chu-hai episode where we have different types of shochu, and we make chu-hais out of all those.
We'll do some chu-hai highball episodes, and we'll just see.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See how it goes. Like with everything, this is a huge experiment for us. We're just going through and trying things and tasting stuff. But thank you very much for joining us in this little expedition. I'm Fletch, and
Kev.
We're Tano Spirits.
And drink shochu. We did it.